On the board, Queen of Diamonds, 10 of Diamonds, 2 of Spades, 5 of Hearts, 10 of Hearts. How come 5-9, 5 of Diamonds, 9 of Clubs is more of a call than 5-3 off? 3% more. I'm going to go for a kind of mergy slash bluffy slash whatever 25 pp. Just take it as an ISO. And then I think with this combo, it might even be worth potting this, honestly. But maybe that's a little bit too ambitious. No, I think actually, to be honest, I think it's not, if I'm honest. I think it's what I want to do with this combo. There are some other reasons as well, but at this SPR, lowering the SPR of a hand that struggles to get 3 streets of value, but 2 streets of value is pretty comfortable on most runouts. I think it's probably what I want to do. I'm going to go min raise queen jack. It's super deep. This hand gains a lot, to be honest. Even more so if we're playing polar ranges. Snaps a little 2.9 in. Okay. It's a small bet, considering typical tendencies. Queen X isn't really a hand we're worried about at all. Really good card for our range. Really bad for his range. Again, snaps a little 4.5. Like, oh, okay, I've definitely got whatever. I'm going to try a click here for a couple of reasons. It's something he's been using for his value. And we're going to jam as a bluff and try and hopefully he'll fold aces. It's really hard. What can we ever have to bluff with? I hope he folds aces and doesn't just think we take king jack and go, because we never do. So we have to be bluffing or have a queen X here, and the bluffs we have would be like what do we have? Yeah, good. We got to fold. I'm pretty sure the tank folded aces or ace king. Or whatever, maybe some pocket jacks. Which also makes sense, by the way, pocket jacks. Alright, bigger 3-bet this time. Doesn't want to mess about so much. It's not aces, is it? It's ace king. We could try and, you know, or it's pocket 10s or something. I don't know. I think we need a slightly better hand to try and mess about. He's on the 3-bet train. I would say that's less likely to be a bluff, given what happened. Like, bluffing is typically, you have to choose to bluff, whereas you can't choose to have your value, right? So choosing to bluff after a kind of weird spot where you know, is probably, yeah, maybe for the king X. I think so. King jack, ace king, all makes sense. Jacks, king X. Pretty hard to see a tank fold, which isn't better than us. Remember how long did you play staying 2s and 5s? Okay, let's think about this. I'm going to go for a tough to get hero called. I'm going to try a pot. There's a lot of bluffs we could have here. Flush draws, jack 10, straight draws, 10-9, all in our range. Not a lot of 5x. King X, of course, some, but I'm hoping he maybe just saw the 10-6, for example, and goes, what the hell, this guy's a weirdo. And he's probably not watching the stream. All right, just checking this. I'm Emilaho. Hello. Hey, Tom, I wait 5 days. I'm going to catch your stream to ask you this question. Here we go. On the board. Okay, let's check this first. Let's see what we're up against. 10-2. Interested in min bet and cooler raise with 10-2. Thinks we're a bit bluffy, maybe. Which, to be fair, we have been a bit bluffy. On the board, Queen of Diamonds, 10 of Diamonds, 2 of Spades, 5 of Hearts, 10 of Hearts. How come 5-9, 5 of Diamonds, 9 of Clubs is more of a call than 5-3 off? 3% more. Bet, check, bet, heads up, small blind line. A small river sizing. Well, this is because in both cases you are essentially bluff catching, but with 5-3 off, you either are unblocking more bluffs or blocking some value is a thing to think about. I would say there, because like, let's think about it in terms in equilibrium, right? What is our opponent bet check betting? Well, maybe they're not going to have queen 9 because they're just going to bet queen 9, but maybe they will bet check bet 9-7, for example, but they may not have 7-3 off because 7-3 off they would have folded. I don't know how deep you are, so that's going to depend a little bit as well, but I assume you're not super shallow, right? Because yeah, but there's things to think about in that aspect. So that will have an impact. Now, here, we may go for a bet check bet line ourselves with Jack 7, which I think will be pretty cool if we get the opportunity to. Probably not on this river, to be honest, because this river is going to check all his Queen X. On a different river, he'd probably check his Queen X. He does expect us to bluff this. I would expect. Now he goes for a bet himself. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Like, what is this? There's some bluffs here. I don't know. Weird. I'm not. It's not. Not. It's very straightforward. That's all I say. Very straightforward. It's very straightforward. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not being critical. I was very surprised to see King X take that line, because it's obviously value, but it's just why would you value into a spot where like we have all the air in the world, like, and just deny us all opportunities to bluff on a card where like we're very, very frequently going to have turned rivered blockers, perhaps like Jack X and 10x, or we have just absolute non-showdown. I would never have ever bet his hand, even though, again, to me that demonstrates like just equilibrium focus rather than practical focus, which is not a criticism, to me, be clear, but I think that so far the way Sam's played, he's like, I'm just going to play equilibrium. I don't care really about the situations or the typical tendencies of opponents, which means that we should, although he has to do these funny mins. I don't know, he's an interesting opponent, Sam. He's challenging. He does a couple of things differently. Yeah, when I started playing spins, I didn't jump into, so spins weren't my bankroll builder. I built my bankroll up in 2009, I think, with like double or nothings, and spins only came out in late 2014. I started playing them pretty much straight away. So yeah, no, I started playing spins. To be honest, I started at the sevens when I moved to stars, and started playing spins straight away in late 2014. I played on stars.fr for a bit as well, and then I played sevens and 15s for years. It is tougher, I think, when you're building that bankroll up. Nice combo, by the way, to double barrel, I think, of our rare. Is it? Probably not, actually. I was like, oh, the deuce is good, but the jack's horrendous. Now, this is one of the challenges. If you are going to bet all your King X and probably block bet your Jack X, you are left with a little bit more air in the bet check bet lines. Perhaps. But this sizing is interesting. Not a King X, it's very Jack X, and we could just jam and see what happens, but that's too exploitive. But anyway. So, happy days. Ami Lahu says, thanks for the answer. It is deep 20 BB, it just doesn't make sense to me that having a blocker like 9 is better than cool than having a 3, which unblocks tons of bluffs with diamond also. Yeah, it's very complicated though. In these spots where ranges are super wide, it's also like it might be something as nuanced as you're unblocking your opponent's unblockers, which is incredibly difficult to figure out, right? But in that case, whatever, you know what I mean? So like, your opponent's more likely to bluff with bet check, bet probably bluff with a 3, because they then unblock some stuff that, because you would bet more of some 9x. Also, you've called, right? So you have the more defined, whatever. It's complicated. Don't worry too much. Honestly, I would recommend for 90%, 95% of opponents, 90% of people here, don't over worry about blockers. Think more about your opponent's tendencies. It's more important your tendencies, does your opponent over bluff, than calling with the exact blocker. Because if your opponent's under bluffing, which bluffer catches should you call with? None. 0. If your opponent's over bluffing, which bluffs catch should you call with? All of them. Oh, but which one's about with the best blockers? No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Right.